Alright, right here, once you get your pad off, it's gonna hang. This here is your self-adjusting piece. That goes on that self-adjustment spring that I had told you broke. And it goes down here because what it does is when this is in there, it'll rotate this out. You're gonna get a few tools. This one here is an adjustment spoon. And what it does is, if you don't have that self-adjustment piece, you'll have to adjust these manually. And you'll take that, and there'll sometimes be a slot at the bottom of the drum, and you'll get in there and you'll spin this by hand until it adjusts out. And those pieces do come off on each side, so that's nothing to worry about. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna set that down there. We're gonna go ahead and get this out, the parking brake cable, which is rather simple. Adjustment spoon, just because I don't want to get up for a screwdriver. You're just gonna take it and kind of pry it out of that little lip there. Just like that. And then so earlier when I mentioned the pads are different, notice this one, there's the bottom, there's the top. And this one, I'll take these off real quick. There's the bottom. See the difference on the top? The pad doesn't come all the way up. Alright, so coming up to the wheel cylinder here, you got pins on either side, which very old. I don't know if you guys could hear that. This side wasn't so bad. Okay. No, so anyway, this is held in by two 1/2-inch bolts back here. So you need to get you a 1/2-inch socket and take these two out. And you're going to want to disconnect the brake line as well. So get your 1/2-inch wrench on there, ratchet wrench, you got a wrench, doesn't matter. Got an impact with a flexible head that's even quicker. Alright, so you're going to want to take a 7/16 wrench and take your brake line off. So, like I said, once you get that off, you're going to have some fluid dripping out. Here's your fitting. Now we got all that disconnected. We'll finish taking the other bolt out because I got it started. So we'll go ahead and it'll go by hand. Once you got your bolt out, so with some persuasion, I got a rubber mallet here. As you guys can tell, a fair amount of rust in here, so it's typical here in the Midwest. Now we got that out, what we can do is we can go ahead and clean the rest of this up. You got some contact points here. I do know that you want to clean up those contact points, and if you got some anti-seize, put some anti-seize on there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up, get those spots cleaned up with a wire brush, and then get some anti-seize put on there, and then we'll start putting everything back together with all the new parts. Alright, so if you're unlucky, your parts store probably won't have it, but mine luckily did. We had the little adjustment screw, lever, the cable, and the guide up here. So now I should have everything. Let's go ahead, throw it on. I got all these cleaned up. All cleaned up, ready to go back in. Gonna go ahead and get this started going back together. One thing just in case, if you misplaced it, take that, put it in there. C-clip washer. And you gotta do that so it don't come off. So now that's ready to go back in. So when you get over here, go ahead and put your cylinder in there. It should just slip in. Okay, and you got that. So then you can go ahead and get that tightened up. Once that's tightened up, you start putting everything else together around it. Get you some anti-seize. I'm gonna put anti-seize on all the contact points, all 6 of them. I'm gonna be fighting that spring the whole time, just to let you know. Boom. There you go. Now it's just putting it together with the springs and everything, which is kind of self-explanatory to some extent. This piece goes up here. Now you're gonna fight that pad back. That one there. You want the short end up. You're gonna take your brake adjustment cable and throw it on here. After you throw that on there, now You'll have that. Okay, well, don't do that. Make sure you guys can see that. Now it's going to come down here to the self-adjusting latch. Just going to leave it there. Now, okay, now that we got that, we're going to take our top spring, goes in that top hole up there. Same thing. Time to fight it on. And, you know, that's gonna happen. Don't worry about it. Okay, it's still on there. Okay, now your top's all together. Let's go ahead, we'll get the self-adjuster on there. You can make sure it just spins freely. I'll make sure that's in here. This is a poor angle. Take advantage of the tools you got. All right. Now that we got that, handy dandy needle nose pliers, we're gonna use those needle nose again. We gotta take this, we're gonna bring it back if we can, and keep the cable up over that guide there. If you see that, gotta keep it over the guide. Not in front of it, not behind it. Perfect. Alright, now. Got ants crawling all over me. Alright, so you got your bottom spring, self-adjustment lever, self-adjustment screw, emergency brake cable, self-adjustment cable, self-adjustment guide, back spring, top front spring, and everything is in place as it should be. Just like that. That side's done. I'm gonna wire wheel this, get that, put some anti-seize on that, and then put the drum back on. We're ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna take some anti-seize and spread a little bit. I'm just gonna spread a little bit around the studs, what I'm gonna do, because I had a hell of a time getting the drum off, and I don't want to do that again. And you'll have the lug nuts holding everything on, holding it all together. And so after you get everything all rubbed down with anti-seize, you can go ahead and take your drum and stick it on there. And after that, you can put your wheel on, tie that all down, good to go. If y'all enjoyed the video, like, share, subscribe. Doesn't hurt. Thank you.